The story is about a young woman named Ha-Dike Known, who was accidentally hit on the head by a ball and transmigrated to a beast-man world, where she would become a beauty adored by thousands. She has a devilish figure with an angelic face, and is called the goddess of this beast-man world. Dike Known meets and falls in love with an arrogant beast-man husband, a lion with boundless strength. She decides to use every means to tame him. In the process, she also has to face many difficulties and dangers, from jealous enemies to the dark secrets of the beast-man world. So what are those secrets? Can Ha-Dike Known live happily with that lion? To find out the answers, let's explore this series with Pakapi right now. One evening in the forest, Ha-Dike Known was captured by some sinister-looking beastmen who wanted to have their wicked way with her. Although Ha-Dike Known couldn't fight all three of them, she still managed to resist a little. She immediately raised her knee and kicked one of them in the groin, crushing his balls. Then she hurriedly fled. They transformed into their wolf forms and chased after her. Ha-Dike Known was just an ordinary person. She couldn't outrun the beastmen. She was quickly cornered on a cliff. The wolves laughed wickedly, advising her to obediently become their female. Ha-Dike Known shouted that she would not belong to anyone, then turned and threw herself off the cliff. In her heart, she silently thought, "If this is a dream, please let me wake up." In the real world, Ha-Dike Known was just an ordinary top student. She didn't have any friends in class. During her last lesson, she was thinking about her future, about getting into the university she desired. Then a ball appeared out of nowhere and hit Ha-Dike Known straight on the head. When she woke up, she discovered she had transmigrated to the beast-man world. Although she had tried every way to return, all had failed. Dike Known had heard that a ritual to communicate with the gods was taking place today, so she came here to try her luck. Who would have thought she would run into a pack of lecherous beasts who wanted to make her their female? Returning to the present, Ha-Dike Known fell into the river, thinking she was dead. But she was luckily saved by a handsome, blonde-haired man who pulled her out of the water. Looking at her beautiful face, the beast-man blushed and even thought she was a goddess. The next day, Ha-Dike Known woke up to find herself lying on a handsome man. The dreamboat made her think she was dreaming, so she wanted to touch him. But as soon as she touched him, he opened his eyes. Only then did Ha-Dike Known fully wake up. She screamed and backed away, telling him not to come any closer. But this guy was really thick-skinned. He still approached her despite her telling him to stop. The man asked her which tribe's female she was and why she was here alone. He even leaned his face close to Ha-Dike Known, flustering her. She was still marveling at his face and appearance, when he suddenly hugged her, making her blush nonstop. The man moved closer, sniffing Ha-Dike Known. He saw that she didn't have the scent of another male. He then offered to make her his female. Hearing these words, Ha-Dike Known wanted to curse him out in her heart. She told him to lower his head, wanting to give him a painful headbutt. But in the end, she was the one in pain, while the man was completely unfazed. He even gently came closer to ask if she was okay, which made her feel extremely aggrieved. The man expressed that he would protect her from now on. Ha-Dike Known immediately pushed him away, threatening to call her tribesmen to beat him up. The man didn't answer and just picked Ha-Dike Known up. Only then did he start to introduce himself. He is Taplak, the chief of the Moonstone tribe. He also asserted that he was her male. Ha-Dike Known was carried by him to the lakeside, where his tribesmen were. Upon arrival, Taplak put Dike Known down, asking what her beast form was, since she was so light. This made Dike Known extremely angry. Not knowing what he was thinking, Taplak suddenly kissed her. He said that Dike Known's body must carry his scent. He also said her mouth was too sweet, making it hard for him to control himself. Seeing that Taplak wanted to get closer, Ha-Dike Known didn't say much and just gave him a slap. Right after hitting him, Ha-Dike Known already regretted it, afraid he would get furious and hit her back. She immediately prepared a handful of dirt in her hand. Seeing Taplak approach again, she smeared the dirt on his face and quickly made a run for it. Behind her, Taplak wiped his face, thinking to himself that he wouldn't let Dike Known escape him. After running a long enough distance, Dike Known stopped, thanking heavens that no one was chasing her. But just then, from behind, 3 wolves darted out from the bushes. They were the lecherous beasts from last night. Seeing them, Ha-Dike Known panicked and backed away. Then she remembered the kiss with Taplak from earlier, which might have left his scent on her. The wolves smelled the scent and knew she had been marked. Their faces looked bewildered. Taking the opportunity, Ha-Dike Known stepped forward, saying it was the scent of the Moonstone tribe's chief. Hearing this, the 3 lecherous beasts fearfully backed away. Dyke Known smugly threatened them for a while, unaware that there was a lion behind her. Tap Lack, in his beast form, heard Ha Dyke Known talk about the incident at the cliff yesterday. Tap Lack became enraged and roared loudly, taking down all 3 wolves with one strike of his claws. Ha Dyke Known was terrified when she saw the lion. Seeing it approach her, she immediately played dead. This startled Tap Lack as well. Hearing the worried sounds from the lion, Dyke Known realized it was Tap Lack. As soon as she opened her eyes, she saw him transform back into his human form. Pretending to be unconscious, Ha Dyke Known was carried back by Tap Lack. She was inwardly cursing about being carried away again. Was there any way for her to escape? Tap Lack was still worried about Dyke Known when from above, a few eagles hurriedly flew down, demanding that he release their tribeswoman. Ha Dyke Known heard Thua Nam's voice and felt a glimmer of hope, planning to wait for Tap Lack to let his guard down and immediately run to her tribe. Tap Lack wasn't flustered, stating that Dyke Known was already his female. Hearing this, Ha Dyke Known didn't want to pretend to be unconscious anymore. She quickly got down from Tap Lack, ran towards her brethren, and accused Tap Lack of kidnapping her. After hearing this, Thua Nam also moved to protect her, which made Tap Lack furious. He wanted to fight to win the beauty. But just then, a member of the Moonstone tribe ran over, informing Tap Lack that someone was drowning. Tap Lack put the matter of the beauty aside and rushed to the boy. After checking his breathing for a moment, he could only lower his head and say to prepare for burial. Ha Dyke Known was a modern person. Of course, she knew this was just a state of apparent death. She volunteered to help the boy. A very wary lioness growled, not wanting to let her get close. With Tap Lack's help, Ha Dyke Known approached the boy. She wanted to turn the boy over with his head down and then hit his body hard. Everyone around was very skeptical. Even Tap Lack felt there was no hope left. But Dyke Known didn't give up and continued to strike the boy's back. Finally, it worked. The boy woke up. Everyone around was overjoyed. Tap Lack tightly gripped her hand, even thinking she was a great healer. The great shaman of the Moonstone tribe was also full of praise. He wanted to invite Dyke Known to join the tribe. Ha Dyke Known was very conflicted. She was about to refuse when she remembered that the major tribes of this world held great secrets. If she could join Moonstone, the people here might know a way to send her back to the real world. Ha Dyke Known was extremely hesitant. Going to Moonstone would be like walking into the lion's den. Besides, the tribe she was with was going through a difficult time. Leaving would be too selfish. Seeing this, Thua Nam patted Dyke Known's head to comfort her, saying this was the best opportunity. Seeing him, Tap Lack stepped forward, not allowing Thua Nam to casually touch his female. The two argued for a long time, making Dyke Known feel flustered and have to stop them. She said she would agree to go to the Moonstone tribe on the condition that the two tribes merge. This stunned everyone. Ha Dyke Known sat on the shoulders of Tap Lack in his beast form, returning home with the people of the Moonstone tribe. While jumping over a pit, Dyke Known accidentally lost her grip and almost fell off the lion. Luckily, Tap Lack quickly transformed back, caught her, and kindly apologized. This left Dyke Known stunned. This guy was using his good looks to charm people again. Thua Nam and the little boy from before, named Dai Fong, also rushed over to ask if she was okay when they saw her fall. Tap Lack's face darkened as he blocked both of them from getting near Dyke Known. Dai Fong even tried to cut in, wanting to carry her instead of his brother, but was promptly smacked on the head by Tap Lack. After scolding his younger brother, Tap Lack took Dyke Known's hand, promising that for the rest of the journey, he wouldn't let her get hurt again. Meanwhile, in the Moonstone tribe, a group of females were talking amongst themselves about the chief's upcoming selection for a chieftainess. A very beautiful young woman, the daughter of the great shaman, was known as the most beautiful belle of the tribe. She was extremely confident, saying she had waited for this day for a very long time and wondered why Tap Lack hadn't returned yet. Tap Lack and the others had just arrived. Ha Dyke Known and the people from the Vona tribe looked around and couldn't stop marveling. It was truly magnificent. The Moonstone tribe's people saw them return and hurried over to welcome them. Na Bang, the great shaman's daughter from earlier, also ran happily towards Tap Lack. Seeing her, Ha Dyke Known wanted to go over and get acquainted, but was fiercely interrogated by her instead. Why was she standing next to Sheila? Xia Inwan silently complained to herself. Don't tell me I'm about to be dragged into this messy love triangle. The great shaman told his daughter not to be disrespectful to the great healer, which left her and everyone in the tribe utterly astonished. A female can also be a great healer? Taplak comforted Dyke Known for a moment, which made Na Bang feel extremely indignant. She wanted to go and fight her to the death. Before Ha Dyke Known could even understand what was happening, she was pulled to Taplak's side, and he even picked her up. Taplak announced loudly to everyone in the tribe that the Vona tribe would merge with the Moonstone tribe. Everyone was extremely happy upon hearing this, and thought that Taplak had conquered another tribe. Taplak continued, announcing that Ha Dyke Known would be the tribe's great healer, and also everyone's chieftainess. Not only Dyke Known, but the tribe members were also extremely surprised after hearing this. Someone even mentioned Na Bang. This made her extremely angry upon hearing it, believing that she was the one who deserved to be the chieftainess. She was about to say something more, but was suddenly snatched up and carried away by Dai Fong, who appeared out of nowhere. Ha Dyke Known was inwardly praising him, thinking Dai Fong was a good judge of character, when she saw Taplak touch her leg and say, "So, a female's skin is this smooth?" This made everyone in the tribe stare with their mouths agape, while Ha Dyke Known's face darkened, wanting to speak with him privately. Taplak brought Dyke Known to his residence. Without another word, Ha Dyke Known pushed Taplak down, scolding him for violating the 3 conditions she had just set. Taplak just smiled, took Dyke Known's hand, and placed a kiss on it. He then asked if she wanted to continue violating them with him. The 3 conditions Ha Dyke Known had set included no physical contact with her, and not calling her as female, and not forcing her to do anything she dislikes. Dyke Known had hoped Taplak would respect her, yet he had already violated the conditions. Taplak explained very reasonably that if he didn't announce her as the chieftainess, Dyke Known would face a lot of trouble later on. Dyke Known, however, thought it was just because he was too much of a flirt. Just then, someone called for Taplak to arrange housing for the people of the Vona tribe. Ha Dyke Known wanted to choose personally to find a place furthest away from Taplak. Taplak just smiled upon hearing this. Elsewhere, Na Bang was angrily yelling at Dai Fong, asking why he stopped her. Dai Fong said he did it for her own good. If she picked a fight with Ha Dyke Known, Taplak would not let her off. Na Bang still believed he wouldn't punish her for a woman of unknown origin. Despite Dai Fong's advice, Na Bang wanted to find Taplak immediately to ask about everything clearly. A tribesman wanted to arrange for the Vona tribe to stay in the eastern part of the tribe, but was immediately refused by Taplak, with the reason that the place is easily surrounded by wild beasts. That tribesman continued, pointing to a place in the south of the tribe. Taplak still disagreed, saying Vona is a new tribe and it's not convenient for them to live separately. That tribesman was at a loss for words. This time, it was a place in the center of the tribe. Upon hearing this, Taplak immediately agreed. Seeing this, Thuanam bowed his head and thanked Taplak. As for Taplak, seeing Ha Dyke Known so satisfied, he was also very happy. Thuanam wanted to lead Dyke Known to choose a place to live. Seeing this, Taplak hurriedly stopped him, saying her residence was not there. This made Dyke Known extremely confused. Before he could do anything, he saw Na Bang already standing at the door. Dyke Known had a bad feeling. Sure enough, the moment Na Bang saw her, she became extremely furious. She pointed directly at her and asked how she could be here. Females are not allowed to step into the chief's tent, unless they are his mother or the chieftainess. Taplak expressed that he had already announced Dyke Known is the chieftainess, so she shouldn't be so disrespectful to her. Upon hearing this, Na Bang looked very aggrieved, saying Taplak had changed. She and Taplak grew up together. She even thought the 2 of them would definitely be together forever. Taplak felt extremely confused after hearing this. He grew up with the people in the tribe. Does that mean he has to marry all of them? Taplak also expressed that he had never thought about finding a chieftainess before until he met Ha Dyke Known. He concluded that the matter of the chieftainess and Na Bang has never had any relation whatsoever. After hearing this, Na Bang ran away crying. Ha Dyke Known, who witnessed everything, could only sigh, calling Taplak a troublesome man. This left him being scolded with a head full of question marks. As Na Bang ran off, she bumped into Sa Kwong, the top strong man of the Moonstone tribe. Seeing him, Na Bang immediately threw herself at him, crying loudly and telling her story, which made Sa Kwong extremely furious upon hearing it. In the center of the tribe, Tap Lak was chasing after Ha Dike, known who was walking ahead. In her heart, Ha Dike known was thinking, handsome guys like him must always be surrounded by other females, right? Lost in thought, she accidentally tripped on a stone. Luckily, before she could kiss the ground, she was caught by Tap Lak. Dike known very shyly said thank you. In her heart, she told herself to stay firm and quickly find a way back home. Just then, they both heard from a distance that there was a fight between Sa Kwong and Thua Nam. Thua Nam's beast form is an eagle, which can hardly overcome a lion, so he was quickly defeated. After the fight, this guy was extremely arrogant, saying someone so weak doesn't deserve to stay in Moonstone and eat for free. Hurry up and admit defeat, then get out of here. Meanwhile, Na Bang, who instigated it from afar, was gloating. Seeing that Thua Nam still wouldn't give up, Sa Kwong wanted to continue fighting. Ha Dike known quickly ran over to stop them. She shouted loudly that the Noyet Lak she knew would not abandon anyone, nor would the much-admired tribe bully the weak. But it turns out that rumor was just a lie. Her words made everyone in the tribe feel truly ashamed. Tap Lak also quickly came forward to add to her words, frightening Sa Kwong and everyone around. Ha Dike known cut in, stepped in front of Sa Kwong, and issued a challenge to him. If Sa Kwong wins, she and her tribe will leave Moonstone immediately. But if he loses, he is not to bother the Vo Na tribe anymore. A female actively issuing a challenge made everyone around, including Sa Kwong, extremely astonished. Na Bang, the mastermind behind it, reaped an unexpected result. She was gloating inwardly, thinking Dike known would surely lose. Tap Lak frowned and walked over, wanting to handle things himself, kicking towards Sa Kwong while scolding him. Ha Dike known held his hand back, affirming that she would not lose this battle. Because Dike known is a female, the content of tomorrow's challenge will just be a competition to see who gets out of the forest first. In the forest, Tap Lak was helping Ha Dike known prepare before the match. Seeing her wanting to help, he frowned and stopped her. Knowing he was just worried about her, Dike known sat closer, saying that no matter how you look at it, no one thinks she has any chance of winning tomorrow's battle. Tap Lak was stupid. She thinks she's going to lose too. Dike known just sighed. She actively issued the challenge because the eyes of the Moonstone tribe's people always looked at the Vo Na tribe with disgust and contempt. If they don't acknowledge the tribe, it will be very difficult for her and her people to live later on. Moreover, she only dared to do it because she was certain of victory. Seeing Dike known in this state, in his heart, Tap Lak just wanted to take her away and hide her for himself. Ha Dike known continued to sweet-talk him, saying she issued the challenge because in her heart, she always firmly believed that Tap Lak could protect her. Tap Lak was also very pleased after hearing this. He then became curious about the thing Dike known was telling him to make. She just smiled and said this was her invincible secret weapon. At the same time, Sa Kwong was enduring the chief's punishment, carrying 1,000 wooden stakes on his back until the next morning. Beside him, Na Bang was there to support and cheer him on. At night, Dai Fong was hiding in the bushes in front of Tap Lak's house, blushing with a nosebleed because of the sounds from inside. When he was startled to see Thua Nam had been lying next to him since who knows when. Seeing that Thua Nam wanted to go inside to report to Ha Dike known about the matter she assigned him that morning. Dai Fong hurriedly stopped him, saying the two of them inside were resting. Thua Nam was also very calm, saying they were just playing a game, right? In his heart, he was silently cheering for Dike, known to quickly affirm her status, making Dai Fong beside him very suspicious, even thinking he liked Ha Dike known. The two outside heard the ambiguous sounds of the two people inside and argued nonstop. Inside the tent, Ha Dike known was on her hands and knees. Tap Lak also moved his body closer, in this indescribably romantic atmosphere. Okay, he got that insect down. Ha Dike known was crying silently in her heart. This tent is just too scary. Then she heard the person opposite her laugh gently. These bugs are really scary, but we are even scarier. Ha ha. A moment of silence for the poor bug. Just as Ha Dike known stood up, she was stopped by Tap Lak and pulled towards him. Their eyes met. In her heart, Ha Dike known thought, is Tap Lak about to do that? That embarrassing thing with me? She unconsciously panicked. But Tap Lak just wanted to help her apply medicine. This made Dike known, while lying on her stomach for him to apply the medicine, curse herself for having such dirty thoughts. After the medicine was applied, Ha Dike known hurriedly used the blanket to wrap herself into a cocoon saying they should go to sleep. Things were progressing too quickly with this man she had only known for a few days. She'd better quickly inquire about news and find a way to return home. The next day, Sa Kwong and Ha Daik Non arrived at the meeting point. After a round of taunts, the battle began. Everyone in the tribe was standing outside, waiting for the result. Some were worried for Ha Daik Non, while others were worried for Sa Kwong. Na Bang stood outside, smiling smugly, wanting to quickly enjoy the sight of Ha Daik Non's miserable defeat. But unfortunately for her, that's not happening. A terrified scream came from within the forest, leaving everyone extremely stunned. Then they saw Ha Daik Non calmly walk out, without a single wound or speck of dust on her. Ha Daik Non confidently announced that she had won, making everyone in the tribe extremely surprised. Na Bang couldn't believe it. She ran up and asked if Tap Lak had been the one who helped her. Ha Daik Non simply said that if she wanted to know, she should go inside and see for herself. Na Bang quickly went into the forest with everyone to check the situation. Everyone had gone. Only Daik Non was left, smiling smugly, looking around wondering where Tap Lak was. A moment later, many beastmen from the Moonstone tribe hurriedly returned to find Daik Non, kneeling down and begging her to accept them. This made Daik Non extremely bewildered. Returning to a moment ago, Sa Kwong advised Ha Daik Non to just give up quickly. In her heart, she thought of Tap Lak and Na Bang and felt endless misery. Being a female is so hard. Ha Daik Non just waved her hand and said a few taunting words, making Sa Kwong unable to hold back and charge forward, wanting to start the match. Just then, perhaps because he was running without paying attention, he fell into Daik Non's trap and was pulled upside down, hanging from a tree. Sa Kwong was extremely angry. With one hand, he cut the rope tying his leg and continued to advance. Then a few arrows shot out from nowhere, scraping off a patch of his scalp. Sa Kwong thought these were the tribe's hidden weapons. He worriedly asked Daik Non, just how many things like this are there here? Upon hearing the answer, Sa Kwong's face turned pale. He even considered admitting defeat. But suddenly, he had a bright idea. As long as he followed the path she had taken, he would surely be safe. But his plan was no match for Ha Daik Non's. This time, Sa Kwong fell into an extremely sophisticated trap. If Daik Non walked over it, nothing would happen. But when a big guy like him stepped on it, he immediately fell. Sa Kwong fell into the pit and was covered in sticky honey. Ha Daik Non gently covered the opening of the pit, advising him that it was best to wait for someone to come and rescue him. Because up here is a swarm of bees. Thinking back on the earlier scene, Ha Daik Non taught everyone about those tools again. At this moment, she felt a little guilty. In reality, it wasn't that she was formidable. She had just learned from the knowledge left behind by her predecessors. Daik Non followed Dai Fong's directions to the lake shore to find Tap Lak. She couldn't stop happily imagining the scene of Tap Lak admiring her. When she arrived, Ha Daik Non saw Tap Lak resting on a tree root. Looking at his unrealistically handsome face, she couldn't help but feel emotional. Daik Non was about to leave, but Tap Lak immediately grabbed her hand and pulled her back. Then he made her sit on his lap. Ha Daik Non was overjoyed and reported her victory to him, but Tap Lak merely looked indifferent. It turned out he had been watching the match all along. Seeing that Tap Lak seemed unhappy, Daik Non explained that because the Vo Na tribe wasn't very powerful, they could only create some weapons to increase their own strength. Now that Vo Na had merged with Moonstone, she would also teach the tribe members here how to make them. But what concerned Tap Lak was that these weapons had only ever been seen in the Sky Tribe, a race of gods. A small tribe like Vo Na couldn't possibly know how to craft them. Hearing him ask about her origins, Ha Daik Non frantically shook her head, saying she didn't know the Sky Tribe. She knew about these weapons from where she used to live. Tap Lak was surprised, wondering if she had descended from the heavens. Ha Daik Non shook her head again, indicating that she had been separated from her tribe. She was brought to Moonstone by the Vo Na tribe in the hope of finding a way back home. Hearing her talk about wanting to leave, Tap Lak's face darkened. In his heart, he once again thought of his own painful past, seeing Daik Non trying to slip out of his embrace. Tap Lak hurriedly pushed her down, causing her to panic. She reminded him of the 3 conditions they had agreed upon. Tap Lak snapped back to his senses, realizing what he was doing. He pulled Ha Daik Non back into his arms, saying he wouldn't hurt her, but he would absolutely not let her leave. Back in the tribe, Dai Fong was waiting for his brother and Dyke, known to return for lunch, when he saw Tap Lack returning in his beast form, looking extremely angry. He was being constantly soothed by Ha Dyke known, who was riding on his back. Not long before, after Tap Lack had declared he wouldn't let her go, his hands had started to wander, slipping inside her clothes. Ha Dyke known blushed, flustered and unsure of what to do. Just then, she remembered something Dai Fong had once told her, that males, during their first mating, often have difficulty controlling themselves and revert to their beast form, which would get them laughed at for a long time. Seeing that Tap Lack was really about to go through with it, Dyke known decided to take a gamble. She shyly asked if she could take the lead. In her hand, Ha Dyke known held a foxtail grass and told Tap Lack not to move. She wanted to see how long his lion species could endure, which made Tap Lack blush for a moment. This led to the scene of him turning into his beast form just now. Seeing Ha Dyke known return with the foxtail grass, a blushing Tap Lack told her to throw it away. But he was teased by Dyke known again. Seeing the two of them return, Dai Fong happily ran over. He was puzzled to see his brother transformed, but he was irritably told to go back to the tent. Tap Lack was still very sulky and refused to change back to his original form. Unable to coax him, Ha Dyke known sighed and left. Once he saw that Dyke known was really gone, the lion, Tap Lack went over to the foxtail grass from earlier and stomped on it with all his might until it was completely destroyed. At the dining area, Na Bang put on a superior air, saying that here, you get what you earn. Dyke known hadn't contributed anything to Moonstone, so she shouldn't expect to be given any meat. She added that Dyke known could only have what others wouldn't eat, seeing that they had left her a pile of internal organs. Ha Dyke known's eyes lit up as if she had found treasure. A while later, Ha Dyke known took that pile of supposed scraps and grilled them into a sumptuous meal. Seeing this, Dai Fong and Thua Nam came over, followed by other tribe members who ran over when they smelled the aroma. Ha Dyke known gave a skewer to Dai Fong to try first. He ate it enthusiastically, constantly praising how delicious it was. This made everyone else crowd around, wanting to have a taste. Na Bang was furious to see the crowd surrounding Dyke known. She wanted to scheme with her clique to drive her away, but then she saw other females were also with Dyke known, even asking her to teach them how to grill meat. Na Bang was furious. She thought of her only consolation, Sa Kwong, only to see him carrying firewood to help Dyke known. This time, Na Bang collapsed her knees. Sa Kwong ran over, offered her a skewer of meat, and told her to stop making things difficult for the chieftainess. This sent her into a rage, and she threw the skewer away. Just then, one tribe member after another suddenly clutched their stomachs in pain, causing everyone around to panic and call for the great shaman. Ha Dyke known gave everyone water to drink to help them vomit everything out. Hearing the commotion, Tap Lack also rushed over. Na Bang immediately rushed forward to accuse Dyke known, blaming her food for everyone's stomachaches. Tap Lack told her not to make baseless accusations against others. He then asked Dyke known about the situation. Ha Dyke known could tell a glance that they had food poisoning. This made Na Bang even more certain that they got sick because of her. Dai Fong also stepped forward to defend Dyke known, saying he had eaten the food too, but was perfectly fine. Tap Lack didn't let her finish. This time, Ha Dyke known also confirmed that they were poisoned because they ate her food. This made Na Bang smile wickedly in triumph. This Na Bang even wanted to make the decision for Tap Lack, proposing that Ha Dyke known be banished from the tribe. Tap Lack had no desire to listen to her. He just turned to Dyke known, wanting to hear her explanation. This made Dyke known feel a little touched. Just then, everyone heard Dai Fong shout, "So delicious," while still eating Dyke known's grilled skewers. He said that he had eaten another one and was still perfectly fine. Na Bang turned purple with rage. Ha Dyke known stepped forward and asked everyone who had eaten fish that day. Na Bang took the opportunity to sneer again, saying how could eating fish cause poisoning. Tap Lack repeated the question for her. The tribe members who raised their hands were the very same ones who were poisoned. Seeing this, Dai Fong was delighted. It must be because of the fish. Na Bang retorted furiously that she had also been eating fish for days without being poisoned. Ha Dyke known nodded and explained that eating the fish by itself was fine, but because they had also eaten pork liver today, they were now showing these symptoms. It turned out that earlier, Dyke known had inspected everyone's vomit and found bone fragment from the green-scaled fish. She used her modern knowledge to explain that if this type of fish is eaten with animal organs, it will cause vomiting and diarrhea. Hearing this, Dai Fong cheered happily, while Na Bang's face turned completely dark. How utterly embarrassing for the pretty lady. Even so, Ha Daik Non still bowed and apologized to everyone in the tribe, accepting part of the blame. Tap Lack patted her head comfortingly, and the other tribe members also told her not to blame herself. But in her heart, Daik Non still felt incredibly guilty. Meanwhile, Na Bang was cursing Hot Daik Non with a dark expression, all while holding a grilled skewer, eating it and praising how delicious it was. In the tent, Taplak sulkily ate the cold skewers, blaming Hadaik Non for not saving any for him. Hadaik Non hurriedly explained that she had intended to grill the best portion especially for him. But Taplak let out a chuckle. He wasn't really angry. The atmosphere suddenly became strangely intimate. Taplak moved closer to Hadaik Non and whispered that he wanted to try what they did the other day again. Hadaik Non's heart fluttered, but she pretended to be calm on the outside, stating that she didn't want to do that with the body of a beast. Taplak's face was full of determination as he said he would prepare himself well. This made her blush. She quickly covered his mouth, then made an excuse and slipped away. Watching her reddened ears, Taplak smiled to himself. At the great shaman's tent, Na Bang was crying loudly, blaming her father for not taking her side and siding with Hot Daik Non instead. The great shaman tapped her on the head and asked why she thought the chief should choose her over the great healer. Na Bang, thinking it was perfectly logical, replied that it was because she was the daughter of the tribe's great shaman. Hearing this nearly gave him a heart attack. He stated that if he were the chief, he would have chosen Ha Daik Non too. Just then, Ha Daik Non entered, wanting to speak with the great shaman. Na Bang immediately rushed over, shouting and trying to prevent her from coming inside. She was promptly chased out by her father. He also told Daik Non not to blame herself, as it was his daughter, Na Bang, who had caused trouble first this time. Ha Daik Non got straight to the point, saying she wanted to ask him about other worlds. Elsewhere, Taplak was directing his tribe members. Hadaik Non lurked in the distance, constantly scolding herself for being too cowardly to make up with Taplak. Earlier, when she spoke with the great shaman, he had only said it was top secret information. If she wanted to know, she could ask the chief, because he frequently traveled to the center of this world and had a special connection with the most mysterious tribe on the continent. So, asking him was probably the easiest way. She recalled how the last time she confessed her desire to go home, she was almost taken by that guy. She didn't know what would happen if she asked this time. Taplak had already seen Daik Non from afar and rushed to pull her into his arms. He said he was very happy that this was the first time Daik Non had actively sought him out. Embarrassed, Hadaik Non told him to put her down. Taplak teased her for a while, then took her hand to go see the heavenly beast barrier his tribe members were building. As soon as she saw the giant fence in front of her, Hadaik Non couldn't help but be dumbfounded. What kind of monster could jump that high? Hearing that these fences were used to keep out the heavenly beasts, Hadaik Non became a little curious about this species. The heavenly beast is a species of giant white creature, extremely strong and nearly invincible. They often hunt beastmen for food. In the war against the heavenly beasts that year, the beastmen were at a disadvantage. All the tribes had to move west. The West Asia Moonstone tribe is the most powerful, so they were assigned to guard this place, to prevent the heavenly beasts from breaking in when winter comes. Seeing that Daik Non seemed frightened, Taplak reassured her, saying that with him here, Daik Non would be safe. Hadik Non was worthy. This protective fence wasn't enough. She advised him to build another, taller fence, as well as design more weapons capable of long-range attacks, along with countless other ideas. After listening, Taplak became even more suspicious of Daik Non's true identity. He was dazed for a moment, then expressed his desire to take her somewhere. The place they both went to was a spot where they could get a clear view of the entire terrain, which could help her come up with more ideas. Hot Daik Non sat in his lap. Taplak looked into the distance, extremely happy, seeing her so full of life. Taplak felt even more unwilling to let her leave. He then spoke, Hadaik Non, I like you. In a romantic atmosphere, it seemed like they were about to kiss. Dyke Known found it very strange. Taplak didn't know what kind of person she was. How could he declare at first sight that she was his female? Taplak just said it was fate that brought them together, which made Dyke Known even more annoyed. Taplak must have a reason for choosing her. Otherwise, why not pair up with Na Bang or other females in the tribe for goodness sake? After hearing this, Taplak thought she was jealous. But Dyke Known could only express, what the hell? If what he said was true, then she could also pair up with Thua Nam or Dai Fong, right? Hearing this, Taplak's face darkened as he pinned her down, not allowing that to happen. Hazik Nuan Tao. He might not be able to distinguish between desire and love. She explained that in her world, if a male fell for a female, he would strive to win her affection, so that she would fall for him too. Taplak et lai. In his heart, he had always seen Na Bang as a younger sister, and before meeting her, he had never thought about choosing a chieftainess. But ever since meeting Dyke Known, he was certain that she was his female. Isn't that love? After hearing this, Dyke Known's heart was in turmoil. Taplak was sincere with her, but she herself felt guilty, because if she found a way to return home, she would definitely choose to leave this place. Giving hope only to cruelly leave was impossible. Taplak continued to promote himself, expressing that if she stayed with him, he would give her the best life. Dyke Known was a little moved after hearing everything. No one had ever said such things to her whole life, making her unable to resist wanting to accept this affection. Dyke Known held his hand and was about to say something when from above, Thua Nam flew down and called out to them. In the tribe, the members were arguing nonstop. Taplak and Dyke Known had returned, asking about the situation. Dai Thien Phap recounted that the female Tang Du had given the tribe's winter food reserves to the Ngumin tribe. Taplak's face darkened as he interrogated her. When a guy named Swan Mok, a male friend of Tang Du, rushed over to protect her, even saying he would make up for the loss himself. Everyone around found it ridiculous. Swan Mok knew that Tang Du was already engaged to someone else, yet he was still so devoted. As for Tang Du, she betrayed the tribe, gave meat to another tribe, and then was tricked and had her things taken before the person ran off. Hajik Noan imeditan undo sto. This girl had betrayed Moonstone for a man. Tang Du knelt down and begged the chief to forgive her. But Taplak just sighed. If she chose to betray the tribe, then she must face the consequences. He then exiled her from Moonstone. Tang Du cried and begged for her life, because the forbidden month had already arrived. If she were driven out, she would surely die. But sentiment is one thing. The law is the law. Hazik Noan Desai. She would talk to Taplak privately about this matter later. At this moment, Tang Du turned to blame Moonstone, saying that in this tribe, two people who no longer love each other are still bound together, because living with someone you don't love is extremely painful. That's why she did what she did. Taplak just found it ridiculous. Her affair with Swan Mok was consensual. She shouldn't use her betrayal as an excuse to shift blame. After speaking, he told Dai Fong to take her away. This time, nearly half of the tribe's stored meat had been lost. It would be very difficult to survive the winter. Taplak's face darkened as he ordered the hunting party to prepare to set out, to go to the Ngumin tribe and reclaim the food. Dai Fong was escorting Tang Du out of the tribe when he heard Dyke Known running over. Dyke Known came to give her a few packets of medicine and said she had spoken with Taplak to have him put in a word with another tribe, so she wouldn't have to worry about a place to stay anymore. Tang Du took the medicine and asked Dyke Known if she really wanted to marry someone from the Moonstone tribe. She also warned her that this would be a choice with no turning back. Taplak led the hunting party and set out. Before that, he had gone to find Dyke Known. Taplak was worried she would be angry because he hadn't discussed anything with her. But when Dyke Known saw him, she was very happy. Not angry at all. She even gave him her weapon and taught Taplak how to use it. Taplak had already watched many times. His first arrow pierced straight through a tree trunk. Taplak and told her to give him an answer when he returned. Dyke Known prayed in her heart that he wouldn't be too disappointed. We heard her answer. Dyke Known and Dai Fong stood at a distance, watching the hunting party leave. After teasing each other for a bit, they saw Na Bang outside the barrier, and above her, a python was lurking. Na Bang was outside, not knowing which way to go. From behind, Dyke Known, an arrow grazed past her, making her extremely panicked. Na Bang thought Dyke Known wanted to kill her, so she pushed her over. She then heard Dyke Known say to look behind her. Na Bang thought she was being tricked, but hearing a sound behind her, her face immediately turned pale. She screamed and ran. perhaps because she was running too fast. Na Bang didn't notice a rock and tripped, falling head over heels. She worriedly asked if Dyke Known had brought backup. Just then, a flock of eagles flew over. It was the people from the Vona tribe. They used their advantage of being able to fly, and their own limbs to handle the whole group. Seeing the pythons being captured, Ha Dyke Known was overjoyed. They were about to have some delicious food. Na Bang was scared out of her wits by Ha Dyke Known, who took a rock python to frighten her. She even scolded her for being a coward, yet daring to cross the protective barrier alone. Na Bang's face darkened with anger. She just wanted to bring some mulberries to the hunting party. She was also extremely aggrieved, asking why Dyke Known bullied her all the time. Thua Nam approached Dyke Known and said, "This group of rock pythons is in their mating season, but why did they run here instead of digging burrows? To wait for mating?" Na Bang also said, unless something bad happened, they wouldn't leave their burrows. After hearing this, the three of them realized something was wrong. In the distance, a family of 2 or 3 heavenly beasts were already lurking. With the hunting party, Sa Kwong watched Tap Lack, who was directing everyone to fight quickly and win quickly to return to the tribe early. He thought to himself, the chief is so eager to return. It must be because of the great healer. He also recalled Tap Lack's past. His relationship with the former chief was not good. He always forbade him from getting close to his mother, and even drove her away later. Tap Lack's childhood was different from other children of his time. It consisted only of studying and practicing dangerous challenges. Pitiful to the point of tears, Sa Kwang's heart ached for the chief who grew up like that, thinking he might be lonely until old age. But luckily, now there was the great healer Dyke Known, who could help Tap Lack find himself again. The hunting party found a footprint and immediately realized the heavenly beast had appeared. Tap Lack immediately ordered the whole party to return. His heart was in a panic. The heavenly beasts had come early. There were footprints, but they hadn't encountered them. They were avoiding the hunting party. It could only be because their target was the tribe. Thinking of this, Tap Lack's face darkened. On the other side, Ha Dyke Known was attacked by a heavenly beast and was pinned down, unable to escape. Ha Dyke Known was caught by the monster and thought that today might be the anniversary of her death. Luckily, there was cover from above. Dyke Known saw these giant heavenly beasts. Although they had no wings, their jumping power was immense. She shouted to remind Thua Nam to fly even higher and to stay away from the trees. A heavenly beast approached Thua Nam. Luckily, he had a rock in his hand and with one strike, smashed on the head, making it fall and roll over. Everyone above breathed a sigh of relief. Ha Dyke Known was still on the brink of danger. She quickly grabbed a branch and poked at its leg, only to realize this creature was as hard as rock. The heavenly beast opened its wide mouth, wanting to swallow Dyke Known whole, but she managed to grab another branch to block its mouth and immediately rolled away. She was quickly pulled up by Thua Nam. Na Bang told everyone to quickly return to the tribe, but Ha Dyke Known saw that there were still many tribe members outside. Returning now would be no different from leading the beast to their home. After thinking for a moment, Ha Dyke Known told Thua Nam and everyone else to fly to the swamp. Seeing this, the heavenly beasts also quickly gave chase. At the swamp, several pythons were happy because Tap Lack had led the hunting party to Ngumin, but they didn't know that they had already infiltrated and hidden. Around the Moonstone Swamp, a green python, considered their chief, transformed into human form, becoming a young man with long green hair like Miku. He was smugly saying that Moonstone should quickly give up its position as the top dog, when suddenly a foot appeared from nowhere and stepped on his head. Ha Dyke Known was standing on someone's head without realizing it. She even jumped a few times and commented that touching the swamp with her feet felt spongy and surprisingly stable and firm. The green-haired chief heard this and was furious, yelling at her to get her foot off him. Dyke Known was lifted into the air by Thua Nam. Only then did she realize where she had just put her foot. After a while, the tribe members tried everything, but they still couldn't pull their chief up. Ha Dyke Known kindly wanted to help, but he still held a grudge for being stepped on the head. He just left her with one word: scram. To think that he, the dignified chief of the Ngumin tribe, was kicked straight into the swamp by a female. It was a complete loss of face. Ha Dyke Known, on the bank, said she was still there if he needed anything, which made him feel even more embarrassed and angry, causing him to struggle. But the more he moved, the deeper he sank. The green-haired guy was extremely angry. but seeing himself sinking deeper and deeper, he became frightened and hastily called for help. The Ngumin chief was being pulled up by a member of the Vona tribe who grabbed his hair, but it seemed they used a bit too much force and pulled out a whole clump of his hair. Everyone around was horrified to see this. They saw the green-haired guy turn purple with rage. Hadik Non awkwardly said it was because he was sunk too deep. Although she didn't want to, she had to keep pulling. He silently vowed that once he got out of here, he would definitely shave her head bald. A moment later, with 2 or 3 more people joining forces, they finally managed to pull him out of the mud. It's just that his naturally long hair was now cut into layers. This made him feel utterly humiliated. Hadik Non helped the people of the Ngumin tribe wipe off some mud and also explained a recent critical situation. This green-haired guy, looking at her beautiful face, also calmed down. He said, "What's the use of an apology? The Ngumin tribe will not let this go." Seeing Hadik Non's surprise upon hearing the 2 words Ngumin, the chief smirked and said, "Only scared now?" Dyke Non indicated that she wanted to help him wipe the mud clean, as if to atone for her mistake. Dyke Non moved closer, allowing him to smell the sweet fragrance on her body. This made him blush for a moment. He was about to say something, but at that moment, his mind suddenly became dizzy. Everyone in his tribe was the same. Ngumin had tricked and taken all of Moonstone's food and were hiding in Moonstone's swamp. How could Dyke Non let them off? The Ngumin chief was furious after hearing this. He swore an oath to kill her, and then finally fainted completely. The once illustrious Ngumin chief was now imprisoned in a cage, cursing nonstop. Dai Fong and Na Bang, standing nearby, were also hesitant. Capturing the chief of the second largest tribe like this, was it really okay? After listening to everyone for a while, Hadik Non sighed. She ordered her people to take these guys outside the tribe for the heavenly beast to sharpen their teeth on. The green-haired guy was furious upon hearing this. He asked if she wasn't afraid of Ngumin's revenge. Dyke Non paid him little mind and continued her threat after asking for the opinions of those around her. How would the great shaman, Na Bang, and Dai Fong dare to have an opinion? In his heart, Dai Fong even felt that his sister-in-law turned out to be so terrifying. Na Bang, on the other hand, was worried about herself. Given how she was before, would she be retaliated against? The tribesmen brought these pythons to the fence. The chief then shouted loudly, agreeing to return the food to Moonstone. Hadik Non saw that she had achieved half of her goal. She told her people to continue taking them outside. After a session of threats mixed with sob stories, the Ngumin chief had no choice but to agree to compensate Moonstone entirely for 2 months. Only then did Dyke Non stop, satisfied. The green-haired guy was released. Because the stunning drug hadn't worn off yet, he trembled as he approached Dyke Non, wanting to say something. Immediately, a figure rushed forward and punched him, sending him flying 10 meters. Taplak and the hunting party had returned. Taplak hurriedly hugged Hadik Non, extremely worried about her. Taplak only breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Hadik Non was still unharmed. Hadik Non saw that he was trembling with worry, his breath ragged. A little touched, she hugged him back, saying she and everyone else were fine. In this moment of passionate affection, the young boy Dai Fong came forward and ruined the atmosphere, making Taplak turn purple with rage. Dai Fong felt so wronged. He just wanted to let the 2 of them know that the Ngumin tribe's chief had fainted. That's all. A moment later, Taplak approached and discovered this person was a stone python. He even wondered why the guy was so disfigured. Hey, if you have questions, go ask your wife, bro. The chief of Moonstone and the chief of the Ngumin tribe, Mang Tich, sat down to discuss business. Mang Tich told Moonstone not to ruin the relationship between the 2 tribes over a single female. Taplak thought this friendship was too fake. It was the Ngumin side that deliberately started a fight, even wanting to launch a sneak attack while he was away. This green-haired guy, he absolutely refused to admit the good deed he had done. Hadik Non didn't want to say much either. She told him he should hurry up and send people to bring the food to compensate Moonstone. She even smiled friendly while uttering a few threats, holding the rope that had earlier been used as an object for an oath to the gods. Mang Tich trembled with anger upon seeing it. But what could he do now but leave resentfully? Before leaving, he didn't forget to tell Dyke Non to just wait until Taplak was no longer there to protect her. Then what could she do? But this guy was also ridiculously unlucky. He left in a huff and even tripped. Luckily, his brothers and teammates supported him, so he managed to save a little face. Hadik Noan saw that the Ngumin people had left and reminded Tap Lak to watch them carefully. Tap Lak then took her hand, telling Dyke Noan not to believe the words of that chief. He would protect her forever. Tap Lak lifted Dyke Noan's face, bringing their lips together. He expressed how good it felt to hold her in his arms and listen to her warm heartbeat once again. After saying that, he immediately picked Dyke Noan up, making her both flustered and shy. Tap Lak blushed as he placed her down on the bed. He knelt on one knee, wanting to hear Hadik Noan's answer. Would she agree to become his mate? Hadik Noan didn't expect to face this choice so soon. Tap Lak expressed with deep affection that if she refused, he would repeat the question countless times until he received her consent. Dyke Noan's mind was in turmoil. One part was immersed in sweet words, while the other tried to stay sober. A perfect person like Tap Lak, no matter how you looked at it, he was the most worthy mate to choose. Hearing this, Tap Lak couldn't hold back. He wanted to kiss her, but was stopped by Dyke Noan, who covered his mouth and stepped back, indicating that just being perfect wasn't enough. Hadik Noan asked him if they could not use the title of love to bind each other, because in a relationship, she didn't want any coercion or deceit. Tap Lak fell silent upon hearing this. He said he didn't agree with her point of view, but he would try to follow her way because he didn't want the two of them to be apart. Hadik Noan's smile moved. The two of them made a pinky promise. She would be willing to try and accept him. Elsewhere, a few tribesmen from the Ngumin tribe were gathered together. The underlings were trying to put a wig on their chief, Mang Tich, who had just been poked. Just a moment ago, they even promised not to tell everyone in the tribe that he was wearing a wig. Mang Tich became even angrier after hearing this. Now they were trapped in Moonstone. There was no other way but to admit defeat. In the past, he couldn't beat Chief Tap Lak, and now he couldn't even defeat his chieftainess. Hearing his underlings whispering among themselves made Mang Tich even more irritable. But thinking of Moonstone's strong and arrogant chieftainess, this bald chief came up with a new plan. He wanted to seduce Hadik Noan and make this female fall in love with him. Then, he would heartlessly abandon her, making her suffer. No sooner said than done. Mang Tich smiled triumphantly, preparing for his grand plan. At the fence, Hadik Noan was directing everyone to continue reinforcing the traps and weapons to guard against the heavenly beasts. Seeing Tap Lak also working in the distance, Hadik Noan thought to herself that after what happened yesterday, things weren't that different, were they? When Tap Lak saw her, he smiled and waved. This made Dyke Noan recall the scene from yesterday when she told him about some modern concepts of love, hearing that before getting married, one must try dating several times to know who is a good match. Tap Lak immediately cried and panicked, expressing that Dyke Noan could only love him. This left Hadik Noan endlessly flustered. She also found Tap Lak adorable like this. She thought to herself, could it be that she would choose to stay here for Tap Lak? After all, if she returned to reality, there wouldn't be anyone who cared about her. She also wondered how things were over there now. The people from the Ngumin tribe were also told to work and were extremely resentful. Mang Tich was very surprised to see that Hadik Noan had such a say in Moonstone. He secretly plotted to quickly win over Dyke Noan, then seek help from the bird people and use them to get out of here. With that thought, he left his work area and went over to Hadik Noan. Hadik Noan was inspecting the iron stakes when she heard Mang Tich's voice from above. Seeing him, Dyke Noan immediately opened her mouth to praise. This wig is so beautiful. The craftsmanship is truly top-notch. Mang Tich's face darkened as he swallowed his bitterness. He then put on a handsome, captivating face and spoke some sweet words. Something like, a beautiful female like you. Why are you doing such hard labor? Hadik Noan was speechless after hearing this. This attempt to sow discord was too obvious. Mang Tich continued to say gently that if she needed anything, she just had to call him, and he would definitely help. Seeing this, Hadik Noan didn't feel the need to be polite anymore. Sharpening wooden stakes, carrying stones, Mang Tich had to do it all, while being wholeheartedly cheered on by Dyke Noan at his side. His brothers from the Ngumin tribe were horrified watching this scene. They even thought their chief liked being abused, that he was a genuine masochist. They sadly told each other not to discriminate against the chief for this. A moment later, A tired Mang Tich wanted to sit and rest under a tree. Ha-Dike Known rushed over to stop him, but it was too late. That butt and the hedgehog shared a passionate kiss. Dai Fong and Na Bang winced in sympathy just watching. They even wondered if this bald guy wasn't very smart, constantly provoking Dike Known like that. Mang Tich lay in agony on his stomach, nursing his, but while Ha-Dike Known advised him from the side, it would be better to quickly call his 500 brothers to take him home. Lying here was affecting other people's work. Not only was Mang Tich not cared for, but he was also spoken to like this, making him furious. Besides work, was there nothing else in her eyes? Ha-Dike Known expressed that she was also very concerned about his injured butt, but Mang Tich, enraged, immediately showed his true colors. Pulled Ha-Dike Known's hand, making her lie on his lap. Dike Known's face darkened as she warned him. But this bald-headed guy did this. He even did it for everyone to see, want to make it impossible for her to live in Moonstone anymore. Ha-Dike Known was furious. Used her ultimate pinching move, causing Mang Tich to suffer in pain. He screamed loudly and fell to the ground. After dealing with this chieftain, Ha-Dike Known turned back to warn the onlookers, which made them shrink back in fear. Just then, Tap Lack, who was working, saw this and approached. Ha-Dike Known honestly recounted the situation. After listening, Tap Lack immediately taunted him for being useless. How could someone like that be the chieftain of the Ngumin tribe? Hearing this, Mang Tich felt a pain, as if someone had poked his butt again. Tap Lack paid him no more attention, wanted to take Ha-Dike Known somewhere. By the time this pair of lovebirds left, the men of the Ngumin tribe had arrived. They hurriedly helped their chieftain up and even advised him that it would be better to like someone else. The blood rushed to Mang Tich's butt, and he fainted. On the other side, Tap Lack led Ha-Dike Known to see an outdoor hot spring, which made her extremely excited. It turned out Tap Lack had people renovate this place for Ha-Dike Known. Seeing her so enthusiastic, Tap Lack blushed and asked if Dike Known wanted to soak in the hot spring with him in the evening. That evening, Ha-Dike Known went to the hot spring, blushing and flustered. Her mind couldn't stop imagining embarrassing scenarios. Tap Lack, standing in the water, called for her to come and bathe quickly. Ha-Dike Known was extremely shy. She sat on the edge of the pool for a while and decided not to get in the same spot as Tap Lack, but went to the pool next to it. Before Tap Lack's words could reach her ears, Dike Known immediately sank. Who would have thought this pool would be so deep? Luckily, Tap Lack quickly pulled her up and held her in his arms. Ha-Dike Known spat out the mouthful of water. Thankfully, she was saved. At this moment, Tap Lack looked towards the pool and saw Ha-Dike Known's pants floating on the water surface. He picked them up and handed them to her. Ha-Dike Known looked at it, stunned. A second later, she let out a horrified scream. In another pool, Mang Tich was also soaking in the warm water. He thought back to what his companions had told him. The people of Moonstone didn't take him to see the great healer, but just said there was a hot spring nearby that could heal his wounds on its own and told him he should go there. Mang Tich thought they were looking down on him, so he was extremely angry. Just then, he heard the piercing scream of Ha-Dike Known. He even wanted to hurry and hide, but he realized the footsteps were getting louder. Mang Tich assumed the person coming was Dike Known. He once again struck his handsome and charming pose, and even said, "You've kept me waiting for a long time." But unlucky for the young man, the person who arrived was actually Tap Lack. Tap Lack and Mang Tich stared at each other with dark faces. Mang Tich still wanted to drive a wedge between the couple. He laughed and said he thought the person arriving was Dike Known, even calling her by the name Known, making Tap Lack extremely angry. Mang Tich continued smugly, saying that Ha-Dike Known had been seducing him continuously this morning. Perhaps she came because she knew he was here. He even provoked Tap Lack, feeling very pleased with himself inside. But not only was Tap Lack not angry, he even laughed and turned to leave, telling him he should look down at the water and reevaluate his own looks. Mang Tich was annoyed to see him leave so calmly. Puzzled, he looked down into the water. Only then did he realize the toupee on his head had fallen off. The next day, Ha-Dike Known went to the Ngumin tribe. Speechless as she looked at Mang Tich's swollen butt, Dike Known told this bald guy to shut up and placed her hand on his forehead. It turned out he had a fever. Mang Tich watched Ha-Dike Known preparing medicine in the distance, thinking to himself that this female was quite cute. At the same time, he couldn't stop cursing Moonstone's luck. How could they have accidentally found a great healer? Seeing her approach, Mang Tich once again put on his seductive expression, but it wasn't long before he regretted it. A moment later, Hadik Non looked at him lying on the bed, sobbing. She smiled and said it was just an incision to drain the pus, and told people to carry him back. Mang Tich still wouldn't give up and continued to pull Daik Non's hand, wanting her to take responsibility for his butt. Taplak, who always protected his wife, quickly pulled Daik Non towards him and gave him a warning. Hadik Non wondered if the two had met last night. Taplak honestly said that this bald guy had said something about always waiting for him there. After hearing this, Mang Tich's companions had a new realization in their minds. So the chieftain likes men. Mang Tich flew into a rage, stood up, and continued to provoke Taplak, saying Gumin was also in need of a great healer. The tense atmosphere was extremely dangerous. Before leaving, Mang Tich didn't forget to give an extremely cool wink, then left smugly. Taplak and Hadik Non watched, truly speechless. Taplak approached Hadik Non and suggested she come with him to the upcoming divine beast ritual. Outside, Mang Tich, who had been walking normally just moments ago, was being helped back by his brothers. He then heard the voices of Sa Kuang and Na Bang in the distance. It turned out Sa Kuang wanted to invite Na Bang to attend the divine beast ritual with him. But Na Bang wasn't ready to love someone else yet, so she refused Sa Kuang, leaving him to depart awkwardly. Mang Tich, having thought of something, approached Na Bang, saying he wanted to hear the old story of Na Bang and Taplak. He even used his handsome man trick again, using his handsome face to make Na Bang's head spin. Hearing that Hadik Non had agreed to attend the divine beast ritual with the chieftain, the tribe members were overjoyed and congratulated them both. Only then did Hadik Non realize that this ceremony seemed very important. Taplak smiled and took Daik Non to another place. Inside a tent, a group of tiger and lion cubs appeared, making Hadik Non extremely excited. She happily cuddled the young ones. When Taplak saw her hugging a tiger, his face fell as he asked if she liked tigers more. Hadik Non replied without much thought, "Of course, such cute kittens." This made Taplak extremely sad after hearing it. Na Bang appeared at this moment. She told Daik Non that if she liked it, she could come here early in the morning to work with her. This place was short-staffed recently, so she could come and lend a hand. Hadik Non was a little surprised after hearing this. Why would Na Bang invite her? Na Bang then spoke up. She had thought carefully about what happened before and wanted to make peace with Daik Non. Hadik Non was still skeptical and just said she would think about it. Na Bang also whispered to her, "Don't show that you like these tigers too much. Taplak will be hurt." Only then did Daik Non see the dejected Taplak in the distance, playing with the lion cubs. She chuckled softly. Na Bang then continued, saying she also asked her to come so that the great healer, which was her, could help take care of the young ones to get through this winter. Hadik Non looked at the small, adorable animals and agreed to help. A moment later, Hadik Non began to feel regret. These kids were really hyperactive. Na Bang threw a cloth towards her to wipe her face, leaving Hadik Non speechless. Na Bang was a little sad and expressed that she felt really jealous of Hadik Non. "You know how to do everything. Nu wondertop lokt shows you, Hadik Non." She threw the cloth back to her and offered some comfort. After all, quite a few people were pursuing Na Bang. But Na Bang expressed that she only liked Taplak. Not want to talk further, Na Bang left to feed the little ones. Hadik Non was thinking to herself, this person is quite cute, when she saw Mang Tich suddenly loom into view. He said if she liked tigers, but stayed with Taplak, she could only give birth to lion cubs. Seeing Mang Tich appear here, Hadik Non was worried that this guy intended to eat the little ones. Mang Tich expressed, "The young are treasures to any tribe. They carry a very strong life force." Hadik Non imagined this guy in one go, gobbling up a little one, so she backed away without a word, leaving Mang Tich bewildered. Mang Tich again invited her to come help Ngumin, even calling her a goddess, which made Daik Non very confused. The other day, Na Bang had told Mang Tich that Hadik Non had fallen from the sky at Yang Mountain during a ritual, so everyone thought she was a goddess, a gift from the heavens. Mang Tich also recalled that day. He had also seen her fall. He was just one step too slow. By the time he arrived, the person was gone. It turned out Taplak had gotten there first. Mang Tich also recounted this to Hadik Non and told her he was someone who really liked taking care of the tribe's young. Before he could continue speaking, a small tiger in his arms bit him, causing him to let out a loud scream. On the other side, Dai Fong was very angry. He warned Tap Lak to be wary of that rock python. Tap Lak thought of that bald guy and was certain Ha Dike known wouldn't like him. Dai Fong continued to relentlessly remind Tap Lak, saying that guy would use every trick in the book to win over his sister-in-law, only to get a knock on the head from Tap Lak. Just then, Na Bang came over to bring water to everyone who was working. Seeing this, Tap Lak frowned and asked why Na Bang wasn't with Ha Dike known. Na Bang was extremely tense. She explained that Ha Dike known had asked her to come here and also told Tap Lak about their past. Tap Lak didn't want to say much to her. Just don't bother each other anymore. Then he left immediately. Dai Fong's warning was still ringing in his ears. When Tap Lak arrived and saw Mang Tich standing close to Ha Dike known, he became furious, not allowing that guy to stand near his female. But just as he pulled Mang Tich away, he saw the sight of a tiger cub clinging to him with its fangs, not letting go. Dike known saw Tap Lak and called for him to come help her get the little one off. After it was done, Mang Tich stood behind Ha Dike known, feeling wronged as he listened to Tap Lak scolding. He was also indignant, saying the goddess belonged to all the tribes. How could Tap Lak be allowed to monopolize her? Tap Lak pulled Ha Dike known towards him and gave her a kiss, saying, "It's because Dike known likes me, what else?" Dike known shyly told Tap Lak that in the future, he could only do these intimate things when it was just the two of them. Mang Tich, like a third wheel, stood watching the two being affectionate and asked if Ha Dike known really wanted to be with this guy. "You're probably just a small animal. Really wants to mate with a lion?" Ha Dike known's face turned red hearing it. "What mating?" This bald guy continued. "Dike known's scent is so fragrant. Is Tap Lak impotent that he still hasn't made a move on her yet?" Mang Tich also reminded her that the divine beast ritual is coming. Everyone will transform into their beast forms and must mate with their partners. Only then did Ha Dike known realize the divine beast ritual requires mating. Tap Lak's face darkened, wanting Mang Tich to get lost. Mang Tich turned to Ha Dike known and provoked her, asking why Tap Lak didn't tell her. Perhaps he wanted to trick her into becoming his mate. In the Beastman world, there are 4 great deities, including the goddess of harvest, the goddess of fertility, the god of war, and one supreme god. Once a year, the divine beast ritual takes place here. Beastmen who receive the power of the gods will all revert to their beast forms and mate with their partners. Because of their large size, the lion tribe can hardly mate with other species. They usually choose someone from their own tribe or go alone. After finishing his story, Mang Tich asked Dike known if she wanted to change her mind and join the ceremony with him. After hearing this, Ha Dike known trembled all over and was pulled into an embrace by Tap Lak to be comforted. He also said he didn't know that Dike known was unaware of that custom. He only wanted to go there with her to receive the god's blessings. Mang Tich stood aside, looking smug. Ha Dike known was just angry that she had to hear such an important matter from an outsider. But she knew he didn't intentionally deceive her, so she still trusted Tap Lak. The two were as peaceful and affectionate as before. Mang Tich stood beside the couple, constantly trying to stir up trouble, but Ha Dike known was not the type to be easily swayed. Whatever he said was useless. Ha Dike known expressed that between the two of them, the most important thing is mutual trust. She hoped that in the future, if Tap Lak had anything important, he should also tell her. Because the feeling of being in the dark and not knowing anything is very scary. Seeing this scene, Mang Tich became even more annoyed. He went outside, seething with resentment. Dike known as a goddess, yet she's no different from an ordinary female lost in love. Just as he was plotting something in his heart, an arrow suddenly shot past his face. Mang Tich had just turned his head to look when another arrow flew by, lightly grazing his cheek. Ha Dike known held a bow, an arrow, staring at Mang Tich from a distance, as if looking at an animal. When Mang Tich saw that his attacker was Ha Dike known, he became furious, but he was also very afraid that weapon would ruin his face and quickly recoiled. Ha Dike known didn't come here to assassinate him. She just wanted to learn more about matters related to the goddess. She didn't want to ask Tap Lak about this, afraid of making him more worried and anxious. Although Mang Tich was resentful, he still told her what he knew. From birth, beastmen have memories of worshipping the 4 gods. These gods would help the beastmen unconditionally. But then one day, the gods all disappeared, leaving only the divine historian, a fox that retained the god's wisdom. It transformed into a young maiden, bringing new life to the beastmen. From then on, everyone called it the goddess. Ha Dike known wondered why everyone thought she was the goddess. Mang Tich didn't say much. He waited until nightfall, then took her to the hot spring. Then he picked her up and they jumped into the water together. As Mang Tich pushed Dyke, known under the water, he explained that on every full moon night, the goddess would revert to her original form upon contact with water. A moment later, Dyke, known had been underwater for a long time and was on the verge of fainting. Seeing this, Mang Tich quickly pulled her up. Dyke, known, was annoyed, believing he had disrespected her, and immediately left. Watching her figure leave, Mang Tich thought to himself that Dyke, known, was not the goddess after all. According to legend, on the day the goddess disappeared, the sky beasts also began to appear, slaughtering the beastmen. Mang Tich had many suspicions about these matters. Meanwhile, Dyke, known, had just returned to her tent, angry that the bald guy had tricked her. Suddenly, she felt an itch on her back. Dyke, known, thought it was just an insect bite and didn't think much of it. Little did she know, the mark of the goddess had already appeared on her back. In her dream, Dyke, known, saw strange memories that had nothing to do with her, about the story of a fox. Then she dreamed of her own childhood memories from reality when her mother left. It wasn't until Dyke, known, woke up that she realized she had been crying. Black had served as her pillow all night, and his arm had gone numb. It turned out Dyke, known, had a fever yesterday, then dazedly lay on top of Black. Adik noan SHYL apologized. She silently cursed herself for being too beastly. Black wrapped a warm blanket around her. While they were being lovey-dovey, someone outside urgently called for the chieftain, telling him to come out and solve a problem. Hearing the call, Dyke, known, secretly sighed in relief. Black just leaned in and gave her a light kiss on the cheek, promising to continue their unfinished business tonight. But that business had to be put aside for the night. That evening, Mang Tich aggressively fought with Black, cursing him because his insistence that the Ngumin tribe quickly repay their food debt had caused his younger sister to die. It turned out that Mang Tich's younger sister, on her way to deliver goods to redeem the Moonstone tribe, had been killed by sky beasts. Looking at Mang Tich's indignant face, Black took the blood-stained cloth and used his divine power to learn that his sister was still alive. Waking up the next morning, Dyke, known, learned that Black hadn't returned all night and became a little worried. As soon as she left the tent, Dyke, known, noticed the atmosphere in the tribe was extremely tense. Even Dai Fong was busy as a bee. Black and Mang Tich were now outside the fence, looking at the young animals that had been killed but not eaten. The two speculated that the sky beasts probably wanted to kill the young of wild animals to provoke the adults into killing indiscriminately. Following the scent on Mang Tich's sister's clothes, Black headed towards the foggy forest. But the corpses appearing on the path misled their initial judgment. They even used the dead bodies to direct their line of thought. Only then did Black and Mang Tich realize that someone behind the scenes was probably targeting the two of them. Black believed they had both fallen into the enemy's trap and shouldn't separate now. But as soon as he finished speaking, Black realized that Mang Tich, who had been standing next to him, had disappeared at some point in the tribe. Dyke, known, learned of the current situation. Dai Fong and the others comforted her, saying that with the Von Na tribe guarding from above and acting together, Black would be fine. But just then, Thua Nam rushed in to report bad news to everyone. The Von Na had lost contact with Black and Mang Tich. Everyone was stunned upon hearing this. Sa Kwong immediately stood up, wanting to lead people to rescue the chieftain. Dai Fong also wanted to go out and save his brother. Dyke, known, immediately ordered everyone to stop and not to leave the tribe. Seeing her like this, Na Bang chided her for a while. Dai Tien Fap calmly asked Dyke, known, if she had a brilliant idea. This made everyone turn to look at her with eyes full of hope. Dyke, known, asked Sa Kwong how his strength compared to Black's. She asked Dai Fong how his information-gathering ability compared to Black's. She also asked Dai Tien Fap what the probability of victory was without Black. In short, their opponent this time was the Sky Beasts, and they had lost contact with the chieftain. Where did everyone get the confidence that they could safely rescue Black and return? According to Dyke, known, compared to saving 2 lives, ensuring the safety of as many tribe members as possible was the top priority right now. Dyke, known, calmly gave orders to the Vona, tribe members on high, Na Bang and Dai Fong. Seeing this, both felt that Dyke, known, was too cold-blooded, showing not a hint of sadness. But no one knew that at this moment, Dyke, known, was trembling all over, silently telling herself that she had to protect the Moonstone tribe members in Black's place. Hadik Noan looked at the map, thinking to herself, if Taplak were here, what would he do? In a foggy forest, Mang Tich was separated from Taplak. As he was looking around, he heard the voice of his younger sister, Anak, and even saw a figure in the distance. Seeing this, Mang Tich hurriedly ran towards the fog. Before he could even touch his sister's hand, he was fortunately pushed aside by Taplak, saving him from the sky beasts that were about to pounce on him. Unable to see clearly, Mang Tich blamed Taplak for a moment. Only when he turned back did he realize he had almost fallen into the sky beast trap. Taplak and Mang Tich used their divine power to fight against the group of sky beasts. Night fell, and the defensive line of the tribe was still operating nonstop. Hadik Noan was on the fence, commanding. She heard Thua and Nam report that the fog in the foggy forest was too thick, and they couldn't sense Taplak's spiritual energy. Hearing this, Hadik Noan trembled, worrying incessantly about Taplak. Hadik Noan told Thua and Nam to head north. Before she could finish her instructions, she suddenly collapsed. Everyone always said Dyke Noan was cold-blooded and heartless, but in reality, she was just trying her best to hold on. In Dyke Noan's dream, she saw Taplak and Mang Tich fighting the sky beasts. The situation was very strange. They charged and attacked one by one, as if trying to wear down their energy. Dyke Noan could even communicate with Taplak in this dream. When she woke up, Hadik Noan was even more certain that Taplak was still alive. In the dark of night, Thua and Nam transformed into his beast form and took Hadik Noan to the foggy forest. Dyke Noan still felt uneasy in her heart. Recalling the sky beast behavior in her dream, she felt like something was hidden. Just then, Thua and Nam brought her to the foggy forest. There were also a few people from the Vona tribe scouting here. In the forest, Hadik Noan and Thua and Nam walked together, keeping an eye on a small rabbit in the woods as they went. At this time, Taplak and Mang Tich were hiding in a small cave. The sky beast smelled the scent in the cave and immediately left. Luckily, they had the medicine concocted by Hadik Noan, which has a scent that the sky beasts detest, so the two of them are temporarily safe for now. Thinking back to the vague encounter with Dyke Noan this morning, Taplak thought he was hallucinating. Perhaps it was because he missed Hadik Noan too much. Meanwhile, on Hadik Noan's side, she had Thua and Nam support her and ordered everyone to take some ropes and pull them up high. Rabbits are small but highly vigilant animals. They will avoid places where large animals congregate. Silk threads will be attached to the baby rabbits. Once a silk thread breaks, it means a sky beast is there. And wherever a baby rabbit can survive for a long time, that might be the place Taplak would choose to hide. At this time, the sky beasts were still roaming the ground, searching for prey. Hadik Noan had also moved down below. Thua Nam and Hadik Noan descended together. She wanted to proceed alone. Hadik Noan wasn't being reckless. She had applied a liquid called Call of the Wild Beast onto herself. The sky beasts hate this scent, so they probably wouldn't touch her. Dyke Noan gave Thua Nam some instructions, then went out alone to find Taplak. A moment later, she found a cave. It had a foul smell similar to the one on her. She thought that Taplak had passed through here. As soon as she entered, she saw Mang Tich curled up inside, continuously calling for his mother. In his dream, Mang Tich and his younger sister were living happily with their mother, until one day, while he was playing in a tree, he heard his younger sister crying. She brought news that something had happened to their mother. When the two of them rushed over, she had already passed away. They cried their hearts out. In the dream, Mang Tich held his mother's hand, crying incessantly. Seeing him like this, Hadik Noan checked his temperature and found it was very high. He probably had a fever. Hadik Noan looked at Mang Tich with a sense of helplessness. She then realized that Taplak was nowhere around. Suddenly, there was a noise outside. Dyke Noan, extremely vigilant, held her knife, but luckily, it was just a rabbit. She had just breathed a sigh of relief when she heard Mang Tich waking up behind her. Hadik Noan asked him about Taplak, but in Mang Tich's memory, the two of them were confronting a sky beast and then nothing. The two of them talked for a while, unaware that a sky beast had been lurking outside the cave for who knows how long. Hadik Noan applied the Call of the Wild Beast medicine onto Mang Tich. The foul smell startled him, and he quickly backed away. Dyke Noan didn't say much and gave him a light push, which made him stagger for a moment. She then said that if Mang Tich was this weak, did he want her to protect him? Once done, the two of them carefully stepped out of the cave and found a rope that had been lowered by the Vona tribe. Dyke Noan wrapped the rope around Mang Tich, then tugged on it for a bit, signaling the people above. Receiving the signal, the rope immediately pulled Mang Tich upwards. But they hadn't been able to relax for long when a sky beast suddenly appeared and attacked Mang Tich, then let out a loud roar. Dyke Noan saw a man standing on the sky beast's back. Although she didn't know who that person was, she felt an indescribable sense of oppression and collapsed to her knees. Mang Tich was lucky to have that liquid applied to him. The scent was so fragrant that the sky beast didn't bother to touch him. The Vona people above had probably figured out the situation. Dyke Noan just needed to hold on a little longer. At that moment, a sky beast tried to swallow her whole. But Dyke Noan quickly poured all the call of the wild beast liquid into its mouth, making it instantly vomit out all its food. Dyke Noan luckily escaped. She approached the man, wanting to negotiate for a bit. She wanted to make a deal with him, but before she could finish speaking, a sky beast attacked her, just when she thought she was about to die. The people of the Vona tribe came to the rescue in time, wanting to divert the man's attention. Dyke Noan breathed a sigh of relief. But when she saw this man's eyes, she realized something was wrong. With his power, he ordered the entire horde of sky beasts to charge forward. Then he immediately grabbed Dyke Noan with one hand, intending to take her hostage. Seeing this, the Vona tribe didn't dare to act rashly. Dyke Noan, being choked by him, could only think of a way to save herself. Dyke Noan threatened him, but this man didn't seem to listen. He ordered the sky beast he was riding, along with the whole pack, to descend to a cliff. He dropped her to the ground and approached. Dyke Noan was still wondering what he wanted to do. She only saw him give a cold smile and raise his hand to signal a sky beast in the distance. A new game of life and death began. Terrified, Dyke Noan fled from the pursuing sky beast. In her heart, she silently cursed that perverted man. He sat there in one spot, taking pleasure in the survival of his prey. Without another word, Dyke Noan advanced towards him, holding a knife and intending to eliminate this man. But the mysterious man was faster, and he also stabbed back with a blade. He watched Dyke Noan fall. Then he sniffed the streak of blood on his hand. The man's face suddenly froze. A scene from the past flashed before his eyes, and he immediately recognized the scent of Bob by Bo, his fox cub from long ago. This man used his power to heal Dyke Noan's injuries. Looking at her peacefully sleeping face, he was overjoyed. After 200 years, he had finally found her again. Tears of happiness slowly rolled down his cheeks. Back at the earlier battlefield, a hand suddenly burst up from the ground. It turned out that the missing Taplak was also here. He thought about what had just happened to him. Taplak wondered who that man was. Recalling the morning, it turned out that Taplak had discovered the purple-haired man who commanded that horde of sky beasts. He had wanted to bring this news to the Sky Tribe. Would have thought that man already knew he was there. His skills were incredibly powerful, and he threw Taplak into that pile of human bones. Thinking back on this, Taplak's face darkened. He couldn't believe such a powerful beast man existed. He immediately took the opportunity to leave while the man was not there. But after walking for a short while, Taplak actually found a piece of Dyke Noan's clothing here. Elsewhere, Dyke Noan had woken up and was unconsciously calling Taplak's name, which made the purple-haired man extremely angry upon hearing it. He grabbed her wrist and asked who Taplak was. He also called her by the name Bob by Bo. This made Dyke Noan utterly bewildered. She hurriedly pushed him away. Just then, Taplak arrived in time, shouting to stop the other man. Seeing Taplak, Dyke Noan was overjoyed and wanted to run to his side. But she was grabbed again by the purple-haired man, who hugged her tightly. He warned Dyke Noan not to call the name of another male. Two powerful forces attacked each other. Taking advantage of the thick smoke and dust, Taplak pulled Dyke Noan to his side. The two of them ran out of this place together. The purple-haired man stood up from the rubble. His face darkened as he watched the two of them run away. He angrily said, Bye, Bo. Why did you run away from me? Taplak led Dyke Noan in their escape. But soon, because of the wound on her ankle, she couldn't continue on. Taplak gently helped her stop the bleeding. Dyke Noan still couldn't believe Taplak was alive and right in front of her. She even thought she was dreaming. Seeing Dyke Noan so scared and trembling broke Taplak's heart. He took her hand and placed it on his cheek, letting Dyke Noan feel his warmth. Only now did Dyke Noan's spirit stabilize. The heavy stone in her heart also disappeared. Unable to hold back any longer, she hugged him and burst into tears. At this moment, Dyke Noan finally felt how real this world was. In her heart, she desperately wanted to hold Taplak tightly and tell him how much she loved him. The purple-haired man, seeing the couple's intimate moment from afar, was heartbroken to the point of tears and shouted to summon his beasts. The horde of sky beasts immediately charged forward. The two of them held hands as they headed back. Dyke Noan told Taplak about the things she had done to protect the tribe, as well as how she tried to bring him back safely. Taplak didn't hold back his praise. She had always been so clever. But Dyke Noan recounted these stories only because she hoped Taplak would not leave her alone again. In the days Taplak was not here, Dyke Noan had always shone so brightly. But now her heart was filled with anxiety, and she was constantly worried she would never see him again. Taplak had always thought he was the one who loved more, but perhaps he was wrong. Taplak gently held her in his arms and made a vow. The two of them reached a high rocky mountain. They just needed to cross it to be able to leave this place. Seeing Dyke Noan's worried expression, Taplak hugged her, affirming that he would protect her with his life. With just a few leaps, Taplak safely carried Dyke Noan out of the foggy forest. At the fence of the Moonstone tribe, Mang Tich had fortunately returned. He said he would temporarily take over the Moonstone tribe until Taplak returned. Although he acted bossy, he did so to ensure the safety of the entire tribe. But at this very moment, the purple-haired man had also found his way here. Taplak transformed into his beast form and returned with Dyke Noan on his back. Dyke Noan was still happy, thinking about everyone in the tribe. She then saw Taplak stop before the entrance. She felt that something was not right. Sure enough, when the two of them stepped inside, the sight before them was the purple-haired man sitting on a sky beast. The other tribe members could only kneel before him. The man was very happy to see Dyke Noan. He even called her by the name by Bo Na Bang and Dai Fong were tied up and shouted incessantly, telling the two of them to run. With just a glance from him, that sky beast immediately made a move, attacking Na Bang and severely injuring her. Seeing this, Dyke Noan was terrified. What on earth did this man want? Seeing the two of them, the man stepped down. He interrogated her about Taplak and continued to call her by that other name. Dyke Noan was a modern person who had transmigrated, so of course she had no idea who Bo was. She thought he had mistaken her for someone else. Taplak grew angry, demanding that the man get out of the tribe immediately. He even attacked him with his divine power, but failed. The purple-haired man counterattacked Taplak, then took the chance when he wasn't paying attention to grab Dyke Noan. He even moved his face close to hers, making Taplak almost go crazy. When this purple-haired man wanted to kiss Dyke Noan, she quickly backed away and gave him a slap. That madman immediately choked her, forcing her to either beg him or die. Dyke Noan resolutely refused to speak. Seeing this, he burst out laughing and hugged her tightly. Taplak, despite being injured, still stood up, wanting to stop that guy. Seeing this dangerous man about to attack Taplak, Dyke Noan immediately stopped him and agreed to go with him on the condition that he release everyone in the tribe. Taplak immediately objected, but Dyke Noan also gave him a signal. Dyke Noan realized that the person named Bo seemed very important to this man. Perhaps his target was her. This guy's strength was no small matter. Becoming his enemy was not a wise choice. Dyke Noan trembled inwardly. She wanted to go with him to probe the situation for a while before deciding what to do next. She just hoped Taplak would understand her intention. But Taplak didn't understand. He immediately ran towards Dyke Noan, wanting to stop her. Just as the madman was about to strike him, Taplak expressed his desire to go with the two of them. Dyke Noan was carried away by the purple-haired man on a mighty sky beast, but inside, she only felt an immense coldness. Seeing the madman trying to get closer, Dyke Noan immediately pushed him away. She turned her head to look at Taplak, following from a distance. Dyke Noan made a hand signal to Taplak, telling him to go back quickly. Fearing he would be angry, she also pretended that she hated this man very much. Taplak wasn't angry either. He just reminded her not to move around too much or she might fall. Dyke Noan and Taplak smiled at each other from behind. The incredibly sweet atmosphere was all taken in by the man in front. Upon arrival, Dyke Noan realized the architecture of this building was just like the modern world. She was surprised to see it appear in this beast man world. The people here immediately ran out, welcoming Nothan's return. Hadik Non, standing beside him, felt extremely panicked by all this. They also continued to say, "Welcome, the goddess has returned home," which stunned her even more. Hadik Non tried to keep herself calm, so that he would lower his guard around her. She also reminded the guy that she wasn't any goddess. If one day he realized this, he shouldn't blame her. The man immediately smiled and took Hadik Non's hand, asserting that he couldn't possibly be mistaken. In this place, Hadik Non was served by maids from A to Z, even being attended to while bathing. Hadik Non saw that this place had a separate bathroom and maids to serve her, not at all in line with the Beastman life in this place. No, then, holding a glass of wine, smiled. The goddess, after so many years of running away, had finally returned to his side. He hoped this time she would soon understand. The goddess was destined to belong to him. Seeing the beautiful Hadik Non in her newly changed clothes, the man called No, then immediately put down his glass of wine and approached her, kissing her hand and praising her for a while. Hadik Non felt it was very strange. She pulled her hand back, saying they weren't close and he shouldn't do such intimate actions. She saw that this guy was about to go crazy again. Hadik Non panicked and hid behind the maid, but this madman just laughed happily and even apologized to her, making Dyke Non feel it was so fake. No then took Dyke Non's hand again, wanting to take her somewhere. They arrived at a large garden full of roses. Hadik Non had to exclaim that this place was truly beautiful. But she quickly became vigilant again in the face of this sugar-coated bullet. No then smiled and said that before, the goddess had once said she wanted a field of pink flowers. So he created this place. Seeing this, Hadik Non felt even more strange about this man and asked him who he really was. In her memory, there were no such things. No then smiled and patted her head, saying he was Kok No Dac, the guardian of Ba Bai Bai Bo. At this time, in Tap Lak's prison cell, he was extremely worried about Hadik Non's current situation. On another day, Hadik Non stood from a distance, looking towards that guy Kok No Dac. Hadik Non was following him because she wanted to find out where Tap Lak was being held. Thinking back about that man who called himself Kok No Dac, a Viking warrior from hundreds of years ago, Hadik Non felt extremely confused. Could this guy be immortal? Just then, a maid saw her and approached. Hadik Non was caught in the act. She evasively said she just wanted to take a walk. The maid smiled and left. Hadik Non sighed in relief and turned back to continue eavesdropping on that guy, but who knew that Kok No Dac was already right behind her. Dyke Non continued to make excuses, saying she was just mesmerized by the beautiful scenery. But Kok No Dac immediately hit the nail on the head, asking if she wanted to see Tap Lak. Kok No Dac braced his hands and warned her that anything else was fine, but this one thing he would not allow, because Ba Bai Bai Bo belonged only to him. He then smashed the rock next to them as a warning, which scared Hadik Non so much she almost wet her pants. But this madman suddenly changed his mind, telling her to follow him to the dungeon if she wanted to see Tap Lak. Hadik Non's cell was unlocked. She immediately ran towards Tap Lak's cell, worried if he was injured anywhere. Tap Lak was surprised and asked why she was here. Just then, Kok No Dac stepped out and grabbed Hadik Non's hand, squeezing it tightly, which terrified her endlessly. Kok No Dac wanted to bring her to this place precisely so she could witness Tap Lak's death with her own eyes. Kok No Dac saw Dyke Non's panic. He then kindly comforted her, saying that once a young wild beast is beaten, it will never dare to make the same mistake again, implying Dyke Non shouldn't do anything unnecessary. Tap Lak didn't care about himself. As long as No Dac let Hadik Non leave, he could kill him or do whatever he wanted. But Kok No Dac wouldn't let him have the right to decide that. He wanted to use his power to kill Tap Lak in one blow. At that moment, Hadik Non shouted and asked him what on earth he thought love was. Tap Lak, on the side, turned pale upon hearing Kok No Dac's name. Hadik Non continued, saying that no matter how strong Kok No Dac was, he didn't understand what love was. Then she lectured him about love for a while. But Kok No Dac only found it amusing in the face of such a naive thought. Dyke Non then said that his methods would only make her hate him more and more. But he just smiled. As long as he kept Bai Bo by his side, sooner or later the goddess would realize that only this Kok No Dac was the most worthy person. Kok No Dac even asserted that right now, Dyke Non didn't trust him. If he gave her a knife, she would definitely take it and stab him relentlessly. Hadik known then pointed at Taplak, explaining the reason she liked Taplak was because he always thought of her feelings first and would always be there for her. Kak no Dac once again separated the two, claiming that he could also do the things Taplak did. Dyke known said if that's the case, then release Taplak to prove it. She even wanted to bet on whether no Dac could make her fall in love with him or not. Taplak, on the side, struggled, wanting to stop Hadik known. But only by using this delaying tactic could she ensure Taplak's safety. Seeing this, Kak no Dac immediately released Taplak. In another place, the clansmen of Noyetlak were going to a mysterious man, begging him to save their chieftain as well as all the beastmen. And it seems this man also knew of Kak's existence. Nodak, Kak no Dac was well aware that since the day Taplak left, Hadik known had barely said another word. He also grew more suspicious that what she had said before was just a way to adapt to the situation. He regretted not killing Taplak from the very beginning. But at this moment, Hadik known turned her head back, smiled, and said she was hungry, which made him extremely suspicious. The table was laid out with all sorts of delicious dishes. As Hadik known ate, her mood also relaxed. She recalled that when she sent Taplak away, Hadik known had given him a signal to quickly return and report to Tien Bo. She just hoped he would understand that hint. While eating, Hadik known assessed the reality. This place, from its architecture to its food, was exactly like the real world, making her suspect. If Kak no Dac was also a transmigrator, but looking at his naive face, she realized she was overthinking it. Hadik known wanted Kak no Dac to recount their past story to gather more information. Just then, a maid accidentally dropped a plate of food. She immediately panicked and begged no, then for forgiveness. Kak no Dac originally wanted to punish her. But seeing Hadik known looking somewhat frightened beside him, he just waved his hand and let her leave. Kak no Dac wanted to take her to the flower field to reminisce about their past. According to Kak no Dac's story, he and Bo first met when she was 3 years old and he was 5. At that time, he had been found on a battlefield. The first time Bo saw him, she held out her arms, wanting him to carry her home. After that, taking care of Bo became Kak no Dac's responsibility. As they grew up, his world was filled only with the image of Bo. It could be said that she was his entire life. At this time, the released Taplak was frantically running back to the tribe, but halfway there, he encountered a group of mysterious people. Taplak thought this was a group sent by Kak no Dac, but at this moment, the person who took off their hood was actually Daifong. It turned out that after Taplak and Hadik known left, Daifong had gone to Tien Bo to ask for help. Then, the person called Taplak's father also appeared, asking him where on earth he had escaped from. Betraying the Beastman race was a capital crime. At night, while Hadik known was sleeping, she was awakened by a maid who told her to leave this place with her quickly. Hadik known was led by the maid to a large, strange cave. Hadik known was extremely vigilant, but the maid indicated that she would not harm her. Upon reaching the deepest part of the cave, Hadik known saw a large pool filled with blood. Around it, a few girls were sitting. Seeing such a scene, Hadik known was extremely horrified. Just then, a mysterious arm from under the ground suddenly grabbed her foot. My video ends here. The above is a summary of the story. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave me a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get more interesting videos. For now, goodbye and see you again. Bye-bye.